Hello everybody and welcome back to the Brightworks and another match of Beyond All Reason. Today we're going to be taking a look at a match that was very recently played on Ascendancy. I want to show you guys the background again. A lot of people didn't even know about this skybox for this map. Isn't that just beautiful? What a beautiful, beautiful skybox. Anyway, spawning right here is the red team leader as an Armada commander, a commander that goes by the name of Kayuma. Kayuma 001, gonna be playing as an Armada commander in the backline right here. Gonna be probably going for some of those cheeky technological shenanigans, going up to T2, rushing it out around the 6-minute mark. Very exciting to see. Getting that Armada tech up and running is powerful as well. We are going bots, means we're gonna have sharpshooters, hounds, that sort of thing. Eventually seems to be the plan here for the red team leader. All the way on the southern side, this is an interesting spawn, and I'll talk about it in a second. We have Zekrus, or is it Zekrus, or maybe Zekrus? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Zekrus because that's how I want to say it. We have the Cortex Commander, the blue Cortex Commander, building quite a few wind turbines and going into a vehicle bay. All right, vehicles make a lot of sense on the southern side. You're definitely a little bit limited by mobility because of these pawns, but of course with vehicles, it means you can also use those cheeky amphibious tanks. So a lot of interesting stuff going on here. The first thing is Ascendancy is largely dictated by this top-hand side of the map. Whoever can control this has an immense advantage over the rest of the game, just because you can manage to put LRPCs up on this and fire away at basically everybody else's base for the entire rest of the match. It also means that you have access to virtually the backline via rocket spiders and any other spider units that get put out on the map here. Means that whether it's going to be all out of Goofy or Dark Lone, whichever one of those wins this top hand lane is going to be in a much better position, put their entire team in a much better position. The other thing is that usually this lane right here that we see Stilgar, as it was written, fighting against, who is this right here, Palf? Yeah, Palf, going to be fighting against Stilgar here. Usually this is where we see the highest OS players playing. That's because this lane has tons and tons of metal reclaim. You can see all these rocks available for the reclaim, but also tons of metal nodes. It means that whatever commander can play in this lane right here is going to have access to immense wealth. And usually we like to see the top tier players going for that. Not going to be the case this game though. Means it should be a really interesting match on Ascendancy here. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. Sometimes just by the spawns that happen in the very start of the game, it makes a match way, way more interesting. One of the things I love about Beyond All Reason, it's so variable. It really, really is. 7511 going to be the purple air commander right here for the blue team. Likewise, going to be air here for Caliburn for the red team in hot pink. Should be fairly stock standard. We do have Cortex going up against Armada, so of course that's going to mean early shurikens for the red team. No such luxury for the blue team. They have the access to those gunships, the Banshees. That's kind of the trade-off that they get. Are the Banshees equivalent to shurikens? I would definitively say no. Definitely can't get the same value, or at the very least tend not to get the same value. I don't want to say they can't get the same value. An astute enough air player with good enough micro may be going to be able to find some sort of value for those Banshees, but it is definitely rare that those manage to compete against the value that shurikens bring to the field. The thing is that shurikens are so valuable even into the mid game and the late game. Beautiful bit of scouting right here by the blue commander is what we're keeping our eyes on. I think personally I would prefer the shurikens just because of their ability to mitigate T1 medium tanks specifically. That's a really, really powerful superpower. Oh, we do have fighters across the field. Hey, you know what? I like that we're getting aggressive here. Yeah, maybe sniffing out that this is a good opportunity to try and shoot out some transports right now. No transport shenanigans, by the way, for the brown or cyan commander. Both of these commanders just walking their way up this hillside right here. Janice is putting down the hurt on all out of Goofy. My goodness. Yeah, Darko needs to start spamming those out. If the Janice connections can land, then this will be a tremendous, tremendous start to the match right here for Darklone. We need the Janice trying to run away. It doesn't manage to get it. We're gonna engage in a laser battle. Ooh, I think Darklone can win this. Oh, I think Darklone can win this. Yeah, he's got enough HP to tank the rest of this blast right here. Oh, if he manages to keep his distance, just barely manages to survive, but that is a fabulous opening right there for the Cyan Commander, who's gonna eagerly eat up all that metal and send it on back to the lab. I'd actually like to see maybe an investment right now in, oh, careful with that D-gun. An investment right now in pumping out a whole bunch more units. We actually don't need the metal right now, so leaving it on the field is not the worst idea. And just going backwards and pumping out a bunch of units wouldn't be terrible. That or handing a bunch of this metal to your T2 player here. In this case, it's going to be Mixosis. Mixosis. They're a mixologist in their day-to-day, I hear. No, I don't know that for sure. That's speculation at best. Mixosis here already going into T2 though, as we can see this commander being sacrificed. We should be seeing something relatively similar from Kayuma. Yeah, you can see we're moving the commander around, trying not to detonate our own energy converters right here, but we are eventually going to blow up this commander. Ooh, you do gotta be a little bit careful. Those are relatively fragile creatures, those energy converters. Maybe not yet. We're definitely thinking about it. We're on the same track right here, but suffice it to say that T2 is gonna be quite a bit quicker right here for the blue team. Jadem's pig is pushing quite hard. Yeah, that's one commander, one medium tank, 2 incisors, and a boatload of rascals that have managed to slip through here. Oh, the micro. There we go. Okay, we keep moving. If these rascals can manage to do some damage, then I guess it is not the end of the world. We're just kind of going for a weird pincer maneuver. Not really a pincer maneuver, just kind of cutting off the reinforcements right here. You know what? I actually like this quite a lot. Yeah, he's running from one army and directly into another. If we lose the commander, it's terrible. But if we can manage to get away with this, it's a little bit of a gambit, but it could pay off massive dividends. Yeah, there we go. Shadem continuing to walk forward. Huh. What an interesting play here. Fruit in a little bit of trouble here too. Oh no. Fruit stepping too far forward as well. Transport comes in to try and save the day, but the commander goes down to a bunch of ticks and pawns. Oh no. This is the red team now with a tremendous advantage, despite what a wonderful play it was up on this northern side, by the way, accentuated by 7511 dropping directly into the base right here of the brown commander, sending the rest of their hopes and dreams crumbling to dust and blowing away in the wind. Caliburn trying to do immediate crisis control right here, but there's only so much you can do. Wow, we have commanders all over the place right now. Medium tanks will be sent back to deal with this, but that's not bad. I mean, let's take a look here. Yeah, 2,500 metal worth of medium tanks. If we can manage to kill all this with the D-guns, even if we trade out the commander for them, think about it like this. You're giving them 1,500 metal, but you're taking away an extra 1,000 on top of it. Huh. Okay, well, we got the lab and we got one more medium tank. That's about 1,000 metal. Not as efficient as we're probably hoping for, but at the end of the world, I mean, the constructors are still alive here. Yeah, we're gonna go T2 immediately. All right, not bad. Do we have the energy for it? Not really. Yeah, Seafoam Green Commander struggling with the energy for it right now. Commander goes down over here as well. Looks like 7511 got a little too greedy and the fighters do shoot that transporter down. Going to be depositing quite a lot of metal into the backline right here for the pink commander. Tech's heading on over in that direction immediately as well. Caliburn now essentially in charge of this northern side up here. Playing air and playing this northern side going to be really tricky. One thing I wouldn't mind maybe is just handing this commander as well as the units off to the brown commander, just so that we don't have to worry about microing everything all at once. But there's also a little bit of risk there because you never know. If the brown commander already lost the lane, how much faith is there really going to be in reserve? Always worth it to believe in your teammates, but you do have to take the practicalities of war into consideration every once in a while. Rocketeers not having a terrible day against these pawns. A hard time hitting them, but there's enough volume of fire right here that eventually they manage to blast those down relatively efficiently. Oh, there we go. Yeah. A single rascal in the backline. Any amount of damage this does is efficient. Single rascal blasting away at wind turbines might not seem like very much, but when you consider that these wind turbines make up a significant portion of the economy right here for the Seafoam Green Commander, who is trying desperately to get a T2 lab up and running. Yeah, I would say it's definitely worth it. Obviously definitely worth it, but also valuable. More valuable than regular, I guess I would say. Medium tanks, Janus, Whistlers, all sorts of stuff firing away right here. So Cruz in a little bit of trouble here as well. Ah, man. An overwhelming advantage on the northern side for the Cyan Commander, but everywhere I look right now, it feels like we're watching the blue team crumble to dust. Blow away. I've already made that reference, haven't I? I've been watching Invincible. Anybody else enjoy that show, that Amazon show? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a good evil Superman spin-off. Similar to The Boys, but we're a little off topic here, so we'll get back to Bar. Brute tanks, difficult to kill, but we do have T2. The power of T2 lies not in its durability, at least not in the Jaguar. It lies in its ability to maneuver. And you can see that maneuverability here coming into play immensely as it starts blasting away these medium tanks and making it very, very difficult for those tanks to fire back. The Jaguars also have that chain lightning ability, which means that every time it fires at this big ball of medium tanks here, it actually does damage to all of them, or most of them. Commander goes down right here. Wow, Zakrus makes it out with his life here, trading out for the Tan Commander. It's gonna be Atmos, going down on the front line right there. Lying in a pool of his own atomic waste. Blitz tanks headed to the front line. Analog trying to hold this. Massive run by right here from the red commander though. Yeah, Koyuma has a huge opening and it looks like they intend to take it. Nizza also capitalizing on this. Yeah, we got those lightning tanks, which are essentially premier purpose built for dealing with any sort of spam units, pawns, grunts, ticks, all that sort of stuff. Again, decent against medium tanks because they have enough HP and enough mobility to outkite them. Little salamander run by over here as well. Not bad. That's why I like to see those vehicles on the southern side, but it does feel like this transition is a little too late. We've gone for an amphibious gantry in the water right here. What a cheeky little strategy. Yeah, going for amphibious gantry rather than going for the T2 lab. Why pay the exorbitant cost for a T2 lab when you can make a T1.5 lab for half the price? Build some of those salamanders and send them to the front line. They'll be just fine against these medium tanks. They have plenty of health to contest all that, but they also have... Oh, we just watched a commander go down off screen right there. That was yellow commander right there, Nizza, falling right there on top of Korra. Oh, man. That kind of puts the advantage back in the green commander's hands. Well, it would anyways if this base hadn't been completely ravaged in the backline. My goodness. We need to use this T2 con to get all of this back up and running immediately. We need T2 mexes. We might want to put a Scorpion turret down just in case there's any more run-bys. We're going to need some sort of way to claw back into this game right here, but the wind turbines aren't a bad idea either, of course, because you need some sort of energy. Maybe we can spare a bit of energy or two. Anything to try and help out these commanders that are suffering from this opening that's been taken advantage of over on the southern side of the middle of the map. Nice static front line right here from Stilgar and Palf, agreeing to essentially a stalemate, although I will say the metal extractor is taken for Palf and not for Stilgar. Definitely an advantage. Blitz tanks continuing to roll on by. I don't know who takes the advantage here. I guess we can look at the economies. Certainly we could take a look at this and say the energy advantage is firmly in the hands of the red team. It's because so many of these wind turbines, solar panels, and other E production has gone down right here for the blue team. Losing commanders left, right, and center means that metal on the field is going to be available for the reclaim. Yeah, the advantage at this point, with the loss of this commander, I think that's the last thing that's finally swayed me. Suddenly this front line is looking quite dangerous. Poison arrows, man. Quite durable though. Something to be said for how durable those poison arrows are. I like to think of them kind of like a miniature Tsar. Very, very tanky, high impulse projectile. Very good. Very expensive though. Actually, I think the exact same cost as the Tsar. Yeah, I want to say 1,500. I think the Tsar costs 1,060. It might even actually be exactly 1,050. Either way, relatively same price for slightly less powerful unit, but of course it can travel underwater. It's the trade-off for all the amphibious units, as well as the seaplanes. Basically everything that can go under, over, or through the water. Beamer turrets trying their best right here. We need this solar panel online immediately. This solar panel will save the day by powering up some of these beamer turrets right now. There you go. Nearly doubling our energy production by building that one advanced solar panel. We're gonna put down some regular solar panels too, and I don't see why not. We've got tons of metal to spend, and we need to put it into something right here. I think it's an excellent opportunity to try and build a little bit more eco. A valiant hold on the front lines right here. Yeah, I mean, we've got units holding all of this. That's really, really good to see. We do have Sheldon coming up on the northern side here for Stilgar. Nice T2 transition right now. We have T2 coming out for the pink player as well, but it hasn't quite hit the battlefield yet. So obviously, whoever trades their T2 for T1 first is going to be in a better position overall. Exploiter stays up. Always tricky to remember how valuable those exploiters are. Oh, this is really nice. Resbot's managed to eat up that lab. That's a huge chunk of metal right there that this commander was hoping to resurrect, but will not get the luxury of. Rocketeers continuing to move forward. The seafoam, or pardon me, the powder blue green commander has fallen as well. Salamander's saving the day though. Yeah, you know what? Poison arrow salamander. It's a strange composition, not one we see all too often, but it does seem to be quite powerful indeed. Yeah, there we go. About, I want to say 12% per shot right there. Well, that connects anyway. Constructor wandering a little too far forward here, but going to eventually be microed backwards. We're starting off a couple of sumos to send to the front line as well. Don't mind those, of course. Sumo's very sturdy, very good assault unit. We've got a... I saw this on the map. I was trying to figure out what on earth was going on here. We've got a single salamander parked in the water, just lurking, just waiting for an opportunity. But these medium tanks, they've got you surrounded, buddy. Hold on, this has got to be the thumbnail, right? look at this perfect formation. Take one wrong step and you're done for. There's also some landmines, which I do like to see. Those will be enough to stop that salamander, surely. But, you know, if, for instance, the medium tank wall, the blockade, the stoppage doesn't manage to stop it in its tracks, first and foremost. These are Hounds with anti-air support moving directly into a T1 production facility, i.e. a good situation right now for Darklone. Certainly going to be pretty happy with the way that this fight stacks out. Radar and anti-radar as well. Basically a perfectly kitted out composition, except for there's not enough welders. But I'll let you be. And this northern side has essentially come back. Yeah. This looked like it had regained control. The red team, that is, had regained control over this. Don't know why that one was so hard, but anyway. I think I misread this though entirely. Yeah, Hounds have been more than enough firepower to ravage this base right here. Sprinter's actually going to be coming out immediately. We do have a res bot eating up a bunch of the metal from this commander wreckage. And the entire brown rebuild facility goes up in smoke just like that. There we go. Final solar panel does go down. Sprinters now sprinting into the main base over here. Easy to figure out their gimmick. They run fast, shoot fast. But for what it's worth, they can, in groups, put out a tremendous amount of DPS. Less powerful, I would say, than the Fiend. They cost a little bit less, but are also a little bit less DPS. Makes them decent for spamming out, of course, but also means that if you're looking for a cheap unit to do a tremendous amount of damage with, the Fiend is usually a little bit better. The fact that the Fiend has AoE helps immensely as well. The ability to burn away multiple units at once rather than sort of the semi-single target that the Sprinter has. Yeah. I would say it offers the Fiend quite a few advantages. Webbers and Recluses coming out now too. We do have the Hounds threatening forward right now. Excellent micro right here. Yeah, you know what? This is a beautiful, beautiful micro. Massive bombing wave coming across, by the way. Wanted to catch the end of this bombing run as it goes directly into the Green Commander's base. And we do have scouting. There we go. Yeah, the rest of these bombers were just delayed. We have proper scouting, so all these bombs are going to be concentrated right in the middle where the build power is the highest. And somehow we didn't manage to kill it. Wow. Those build towers should be thanking their lucky stars they didn't massively explode. Felt like they certainly should have, but they managed not to. And you know what? With the double chainsaws, a lot of those planes did get cleaned up. Flak turret also helping out a lot, of course. Wow. Salamanders continuing to be a menace on the front line. One of the uniquities about salamanders, and this is true of all laser weaponry actually, but specifically applicable here where the salamanders are prevalent, sumos for instance as well, is that laser weaponry actually has damage fall off. So when you fire a laser, it's weaker the further out that the laser is connecting, meaning that salamanders they benefit greatly from charging head first into the enemy compositions, which is a little bit different than the way that medium tanks, for instance, play, where you're essentially trying to just produce enough firepower and lob it at the enemy rather than actually getting your units into combat. Anti-air bots. Anti-air bots. Ooh, they're prioritizing the bomber, unfortunately. Yeah, there they go, though. Yeah, they'll shoot those shurikens down. Not bad. Ooh, nice snipe on the fusion reactor right there. E-converters pop. Fusion reactor pops. Flak turret pops here as well. Spiders rolling in for the reclaim. We've already got a res bot eating up this entire base over here. Oh, what a nice little push. The units have pushed forward and swung around to the backside. Zero reaction, cries out a spectator, and I have to tend to agree. Yeah, oh, will the reclaim be enough? Oh, we're not paying attention to our backline right now. I think we could definitely have reclaimed these. Oh, we will just barely manage to reclaim those. That was very tricky. If those had been put on opposite sides to get that flanking damage, essentially double damage means they absolutely would have killed this geothermal. That would have been a beautiful snipe, but fortunately for Darklone at the very least, those fiends did not have proper micro, and so they didn't manage to snipe that. There is more units coming up though, so we do need to be very careful. We've got beamer turrets planned. I don't think those are going to see the light of day. What a weird back and forth swing. Somehow both tops of the map have been completely annihilated. Neither one of them surviving. Yeah, Darklone's main facility in the backline here has been completely ravaged. The Brown commander, who was eliminated essentially at the start of the match, has been completely eradicated. The Yellow commander setting up a T2 lab. Oh, actually, it looks like this was all resurrected. Yeah, I'm seeing halos all over the place. I'd love to see the Destructor going around capturing these mexes. I don't see a good reason not to do that. We do have red spots marching forward at the very least, though. The red commander on top of it, as far as that's concerned. Wow, it really feels like the salamanders, pardon me, the poison arrows have really brought this around. Yeah, the Maroon Commander just stuck on T1 for a little bit too long. We're still on T1. Oh no. Okay, well, sans of a T2 transition, I don't see a good way to make your money back after fighting those wonderful, what are they called? Scorpions? Poison arrows, that's right. They have a very unique name. Not similar to anything else I can think of. Most units kind of have a counterpart, right? The pawn, the grunt, the rover, the rascal, right? They kind of, the recluse, the termite, right? They're mirrored pairs, but I don't know what the counter to the, yeah, I don't know what the counter to the poison arrow is. Maybe somebody can tell me why the turtle is technically the unit matchup. That's the unit that lines up in the catalog against the poison arrow, but I'm not sure why it's called the turtle and this one's called the poison arrow. There's clearly a dev decision that I missed there. If you know, though, feel free to leave it down below in the comment section. Yeah. Gunships have been wonderful at pushing back the spiders. You can see them all retreating for the hills now. Anti-air bot trying to be useful. Not succeeding. You know what? I mean, despite having this high ground, we are actually in a bit of a dire situation. By the lack of geothermal, I conclude that those fiends did eventually manage to snipe it. Does mean, of course, that we're in a bit of a tricky situation. You can see Darklone building a bunch of T1 economy, if nothing else. Solar panels. Trying to dump that metal that's in the bank right there. Somebody is sitting on 7k metal. I'm not sure exactly who I had selected just now. Sitting on a lot of metal, though. You can see a lot of these teams, or a lot of these members on these teams actually do have quite a bit in store. Have a pop-up turret coming up right here. A little bit of overkill for ticks, perhaps, but is there really any such thing as overkill in the battle for safety? Oh, we have printers enabled. Wait, does that mean we have... Ooh, tell me we have it. Ah, we do not. I was looking for the Siegebreaker unit. That's a unit in Hornet's in development pack. Is it a mod pack? Is it a unit pack? I'm not sure exactly. A balance pack? I'm not sure exactly what to call it. But anyway, that's one of the units that Hornet has designed, developed, and showcased is called the Siegebreaker. It's very cool. Kind of like a cataphract or kind of like a turbo laser cataphract. Yeah, that's what I would say. Wow, was it me that was talking about Banshees 20 minutes ago? Saying they're not very powerful, not very prevalent. Hard for them to find value in a modern battlefield. As we watch them completely disassemble this entire front line right here. Wow. All right. The reason why those Banshees are going unaddressed is because all the fighters are busy escorting bombers across the map right here. What an unfortunate timing that happens to be. Big Salamander run by as well. Oh, what a back and forth. The tank commander managing to snipe the vast majority of the blue commander's base. We have heavy tanks to escort all this. We're gonna build a laser tower right here. I think we need anti-air, man. I think a couple of anti-air defenses would probably not be the worst idea. Going for an eradicator or two just to shoot down these Banshees, that is hilarious. The bombers managed to take out the air player over here. You can see we have the air lab, but we don't have any constructors to rebuild with. That's a bit of a problem. Yeah, gonna knock Caliburn out for a while. You can see in chat says need a con. Couldn't agree more. I hear abductors. I want to see them. Where are they? I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are. I think I've gone completely blind. Oh, here they are. That was quite a search, huh? Abductors, paralyzing as many of these termites as possible. This is with the EMP rework, though, which means that these abductors, they do bring things up to paralysis quite quickly. They can't maintain it very well, though. There was a brief period where abductors were insanely broken, where they fired essentially a continuous beam. Wait, what? Oh. What? Well, that's unsatisfying. to finish my thought, they used to fire a continuous beam. Now they fire much more of a burst, which paralyzes things. But the blue team has just resigned. Wow. All right, well, the red team laying it on thick, I guess. An epic comeback. I really thought the blue team had it there for a second. I guess the aggression in the backline right here from Nazah, eventually wiping out the vast majority of the eco here for the Cyan Commander, the loss of mid, and the constant raiding potential, and eventually the overwhelming T2 transition from both the Tan and Maroon Commander was just too much to handle on the southern side. What a crazy back and forth match. I really thought the blue team was on the direct path towards bringing it back right there. But eventually it will be the red team that manages to claim victory in today's match of Beyond All Reason. Can you tell I'm a little bit flabbergasted by that ending? Definitely not what I was expecting. Thanks a ton for watching, and I sure hope you enjoyed, even if that abrupt ending definitely caught you off guard as much as it caught me off guard. And I will see you in the very next game of Beyond All Reason. Peace out, everybody.